and my subtopic is addiction to social media. My group members are Adrian Legal, Connor Mick, and Armand Raywell. Some effects that social media has on you. So on average, teenagers spend up to 9 hours a day on social media. This severely increases the chances of becoming a victim of addiction, cyberbullying, or sexual or financial predation. So my subtopic is social media addiction. Addiction to social media is a growing concern amongst the people, especially teens, due to how easy it is to access social media with a phone, iPad, computer, whatever it might be. Addiction to social media can decrease performance in other aspects of life, including schoolwork, sports, activities, music, art, whatever you do at school, really. Addiction can also lead to lack of sleep, physical problems, and sometimes, if being cyberbullied, or reduce in self-esteem, and sometimes even depression. About 3.2 billion people use some sort of social media, which is equal to about 42% of the world's populations. And mobile apps account for 70% of time spent on social media networks. In a survey, 57% of all teens agree that using social media often distracts them when they should be doing homework. Quite simply, we are on our iPads just too much. iPads, phones.
Hi, my name is Armand Grable, and my subtopic was online predation on social media. My first type of predation is sexual predation. Sexual predators are online predators that use social media and online communication to lure people into a trap so that they can attain sexual contact. Sexual predation has become a bigger and bigger threat because of the rise of popularity in social media. This is because online you are able to communicate anonymously and hide your real identity. Teens are some of the biggest victims of sexual predation on social media. A study showed that 1 of 9 teenagers receive unwanted sexual solicitations. Sexual predation prevention. Prevention from sexual predators can be used to keep kids safe on the internet. The use of filters on social media can be used to take out content that can be deemed unsafe and threatening. Features such as the block system, where you can block someone. This system prevents the person from contacting you through that account in any way. Financial predation. Financial predation is online predation when someone looks to exploit someone else for financial gain. 2 of the most common types of financial predation are identity theft and phishing. Identity theft is when someone uses someone else's identity and personal information in order to obtain precious financial information that could lead to financial gain. In 2018, there were over 400,000 reports of identity theft in the U.S. alone. Phishing is the use of emails in order to obtain personal information. Clues that can be spotted to prove an email is a scam are things such as bad grammar, a sense of urgency, and extremely personal information. Financial predation prevention. In many cases of financial predation, personal information will most likely be asked. This can be used to spot a scam because companies do not ask for extremely important information via email. A message from a user that looks like a known company can also prove to be fake. It is essential to keep personal information secure and safe, as this information given out to the wrong person can lead to disaster. To the right, we see a scam that appears to be real at first glance, but with further inspection you can see that it's clearly fake. There's grammar errors and a sense of urgency, and it tells you that it will delete your account within the next 24 hours if you do not give the information necessary.
I'm Adrian Legal, and my subtopic was cyberbullying. So cyberbullying is using the internet and online communication to bully someone. In extreme cases, it could lead to the victim becoming depressed or suicidal. Cyberbullying can also affect its victims in the future. These victims have a higher chance of a divorce, a criminal record, and even dropping out of school. Depression caused by cyberbullying is linked to a high suicide rate. As social media has developed and become more popular, the depression rate has gone up 24% since the 1990s. Unfortunately, cyberbullying is very common. According to studies, 43% of kids have been cyberbullied once, and 25% of kids have been cyberbullied multiple times. So for all the kids being cyberbullied, only 1 in 10 victims have told a parent or trusted adult about it, and 90% of cyberbullying victims or witnesses have done nothing about it. Another study shows that half of teens have engaged in cyberbullying. Online communication makes engaging in bullying easier, and sadly, it also makes it easier to get away with.
Hello, I'm Connor Mick, and my subtopic was how social media affects the brain. How social media affects sleep. Most kids from ages 11 to 12 admit that they do not get enough sleep due to social media. One survey showed that 60% of boys and 68% of girls do not get enough sleep. Out of all kids tested, 73% reported that they spent over an hour on social media before they went to bed. And the more time each kid spent on social media, the less sleep they got. Effects on the brain, facts. Social media is much more self-centered. You spend 40% more time talking about yourself on social media compared to in real-life conversations. Social media has also been linked to a decrease in attention span. In the year 2000, the average attention span was 12 seconds, but since then, a new study conducted in 2013 showed a 4-second decrease down to 8 seconds. This is extremely low considering the average attention span of a goldfish is also 8 seconds. Conclusion. Finally, social media can have a major impact on us in ways such as addiction, depression, cyberbullying, and sexual and financial predation. My final suggestion to you is to stay safe and use it with moderation. And now we have a documentary to show you.
Hi, my name is Tyler Mater, and my group's topic was social media. My other group members are Adrian Legal, Armand Graywall, and Connor Mick.
For our action project, we decided to go to St. Joe, Pennsylvania, and talk to an 8th grade class about the dangers of social media and how to avoid them. We presented a PowerPoint, played a Kahoot, handed out a contract, and gave them donuts in the spirit of Fat Tuesday. Overall, everyone had a great time learning, playing, and of course, eating.
We handed out stickers as a lasting reminder to the kids to remember to be conscientious on social media and to always remember that whatever they put out there sticks.
These are the contracts we handed out to the kids at St. Joe's. They set the rules on how to use social media cautiously and moderately. We encourage the 8th graders to take them home and talk them over with their parents.
Our first interview, we interviewed Mr. Loisel from the county's prosecutor's office. He brought a lot of PowerPoint that he shows to the local schools in the Sylvania area, and he taught us a little something about social media before we interviewed him. Okay, so Mr. Loisel, what do you do for a living? Like, what's your job? That's fine.
I work at the Lucas County Prosecutor's Office, so I prosecute felony crimes that are committed within Lucas County. That can be anywhere from a low-level crime, such as a theft or an assault, up to murder cases and everything in between.
You say that higher depression and suicide rates are linked to social media through cyberbullying and harassment?
Yes, they certainly are linked. People tend not to know that, but it's one of those things that behind the scenes they certainly are linked because of the effect that it has on the person that is getting or receiving the text or being embarrassed online or through texting or Snapchat or what have you.
Have you had many?
These are the other questions that we asked Mr. Loisel during our interview. For our next interview, we interviewed Mrs. Aridi. She's a school counselor in the local area, and she told us about how social media affects the children at the school she goes to. So, Maria, could you tell us what you do for a living?
Sure. I'm a a school psychologist in a local school district. My caseload right now is primarily with elementary school children, so K to 5.
All right, thank you.
Dopamine is also known as a feel-good chemical. How do you think that affects kids and how it could lead to addiction?
I think that any activity, when you're engaged in a lot of things when it comes to screen time, I think screen time in and of itself can be really tricky, and it can be easy to become very, not stuck in it, but really, addiction is kind of the word I guess you're using for it, but to be so focused on it and that it's taking up a lot of your time, and things that happen on the screen, they happen quickly and they hold your attention. But what happens in real life doesn't always happen that quickly, and it doesn't always meet that need, that dopamine need. And so you're getting that reaction, and it's meeting a need, and it's giving you that fix for wanting to continue on in that activity. But the things that are happening around you are maybe not as exciting to you as what's happening on the screen. And so then that affects your ability to kind of focus on what's going on in the world around you, in the real world around you.
I thought that when doing 8th grade projects, I learned many vital skills such as interviewing and when to ask the right questions and how to make sure that the person you are interviewing is well prepared for the interview. I also thought I learned a lot about researching when I was researching for my subtopic about what websites I can trust and how you know you can trust those websites.
In my opinion, the whole 8th grade project experience has really helped me to develop skills that will better me in my future years of school. I have learned how to research better, manage time better, and I have strengthened my public speaking skills. All in all, 8th grade project was a great learning experience that I will always keep with me.
And my subtopic is predation on social media. While doing my 8th grade project, I've had many new experiences and learned a lot of new things. I've learned that speaking in front of 20 people is not as easy as it seems. I've also learned about how social media is a growing problem and should be acknowledged and taken more seriously.
I'm Adrian, and my topic was cyberbullying and depression. So this taught me how to work as a group and do a project that is this big, and also doing this project taught me how to speak in front of a bunch of people.
Any questions? Questions?
Yeah. So when we went to St. Joe's, we presented the PowerPoint that we just showed you. We presented the PowerPoint, showed them how you can use. We altered it a little bit, but we sort of showed them how you can use social media in moderation and how. We showed them how, while social media can be good, we showed them how that we showed like predation, stuff like that, how those signs of it. We showed them how to use it in moderation, and as far as the contracts and stickers go, they were sort of like a lasting reminder to show sort of so they wouldn't forget that like what they put out there is permanent, and even if they delete it, people can still find it in different places. And just to be sort of conscientious as to what you say, and with the contract, they it showed on the screen. There are a couple things that it sort of says to never give out like, your personal information to sources that you don't know, like to always think about what you say online before you post it.
There was definitely positives, but most of our report was just negatives and how to beware of the threats on social media and that we should use in moderation because a lot more negative can come from the positive.
So sort of what we did was we made a list of some things that like you would like to see online, and then what we did was we didn't make that, but we didn't just take the first thing you find offline, but we were looking for something that met like all the needs that we put on the list and we were looking for online. Yeah, I think we have it print. I think I have it printed out somewhere, but I can find it. Yeah, I will.
Calvin, that video should be in your camera roll by now.
We're doing it off like our note cards. So just the video is the only thing that's being projected? Yeah. Okay. Let me double check some. Guys, get in your order. Okay. Let me get back up there. Don't start yet. Yeah. I know. I heard it. Okay. Hello, I'm Darren Croy, and we are group number 6. Our topic is animal-assisted therapy. Animal-assisted therapy is therapy, which means treatment by animals. There are many benefits to animal-assisted therapy. One big thing is that it can help people with conditions become independent and live by themselves. Another big thing is it gives the family members a sense of security, knowing that if their loved one has an issue, they would be notified in time to resolve the issue. My subtopic was reasons for needing animal-assisted therapy. There are a lot of conditions that can use animal-assisted therapy to benefit. They range from blindness and reduced vision, which is the most common reason for needing animal-assisted therapy, to more rare reasons like epilepsy and diabetes, which use complex training methods. Epilepsy dogs are trained to spot their owners having an epileptic seizure and notify someone to help, as well as lay down next to the person to prevent injury during the seizure. Diabetic alert dogs are trained to smell different things that might indicate that their owner has a low blood sugar. These smells are not depictable to the human nose, making this type of dog very hard to train in. There are many new conditions being covered by animal-assisted therapy each month, and the list continues to grow.
Hello, my name is Jack Olson, and my subtopic was benefits of animal-assisted therapy. Like Darren said, there's a lot, many of them, but some impactful ones are reduced anxiety from like the dogs and reduced blood pressure. So reducing anxiety can help with it. Reducing anxiety is an impactful benefit because if you have anxiety, you're intense, successful, and fearful about everyday situations. An example would be like me talking right now, because like I kind of have anxiety right now from talking. But anyways, if someone has anxiety, if they have a therapy animal or something, then it could help with anxiety. They could detect if you have an anxiety attack or anything, and it could reduce the risk of heart attack or stroke or any other medical condition. The other impactful one is a reduced blood pressure. If you have a high blood pressure, then the force is like really high, hence why it's called high blood pressure. But despite there being no symptoms, that can also cause health conditions like heart attack and stroke. But if you have a therapy animal for that, it could help that as well. And like Darren said, there's many other ones, like it could help with physical conditions or like mental conditions and stuff like that. So.
Hi, my name is Joey Eady, and my subtopic is types of animal-assisted therapy. There are many different types of animal-assisted therapy, or there's many types of animals used for animal-assisted therapy. The most common animal used for animal-assisted therapy is dogs. Dogs can go to hospitals, nursing homes, and schools. Studies have shown that animals have a great impact on the elderly. They help reduce loneliness and stress. In hospitals, patients respond with feeling less pain, less depression, and anxiety during visits with dogs. Horses are also used for therapy. Equine therapy promotes emotional and physical growth in patients. People suffering from anxiety, autism, ADD, dementia, cerebral palsy, and genetic disorders such as Down syndrome, brain injuries, and many and other issues benefit from this therapy. Some other animals used for animal-assisted therapy are cats, pigs, and birds.
Hello, my name is Calvin Sifke. I did my subtopic on the way a person's location or situation would affect what kind of animal-assisted therapy they would receive. If a person is confined to a hospital bed, they would probably use a small animal. This is because small animals improve small motor skills and communication. It's not very clear what defines a small animal, but examples of small animals are rabbits, hamsters, and guinea pigs. If a person is depressed or has an eating disorder, they could be given a reptile as a therapy pet. Most reptile therapy pets are snakes, turtles, and iguanas. If a person has autism, cerebral palsy, arthritis, or multiple sclerosis, hippotherapy, the use of horses for pet therapy, could be used. This is because it can improve the patient's mobility, posture, function, and balance.
For our action project, we raised $750 doing a bake sale. We sold puppy chow for $1 and other baked goods for 50 cents. We also did a GoFundMe. We used this money to buy ramps, bridges, and tunnels to help train puppies at the Ability Center to get used to encountering these things in the real world. There are a lot of reasons that you could need animal-assisted therapy. Some of these include autism, blindness, epilepsy, and diabetes. These things can make it hard for you to live a life individually and get around to places that you need to be. With these dogs, they are very helpful in helping people live individual lives and not getting hurt.
Hi, my name is Joey Edie, and my subtopic was types of animal-assisted therapy. In-house animals such as dogs, cats, and birds. Small animals such as rabbits, hamsters, guinea pigs, etc. Snakes, turtles, horses, and dolphins are used for animal-assisted therapy too.
My name is Calvin Sifke, and I did my subtopic on how a person's location or situation would affect what type of animal-assisted therapy they would receive. Small animals such as rabbits, hamsters, and guinea pigs are used to help patients who are confined to a hospital bed. Reptiles such as turtles and snakes are used to help patients with depression and eating disorders. Hippotherapy can be used to help people with autism, cerebral palsy, arthritis, multiple sclerosis, head injury, stroke, and spinal cord injury.
My name is Jack Olson, and my subtopic is benefits of animal-assisted therapy. Interacting with comfort dogs lowers blood pressure and releases endorphins in the body. Interactions with a small animal can improve motor skills and communication. Hippotherapy can improve a patient's mobility, posture, function, and balance.
We met with Jordan from the Ability Center, where she explained to us what the equipment that we purchased with the money we fundraised did, and some other questions about what they do and who they train.
What type of jobs do they do right there? We place service dogs for people that have mobility disabilities. Our therapy dogs do not have public access, but we place them either in schools or with kids with autism. So if you want to ask questions about like what the service dogs do, I can talk about the physical tasks that they're doing, like laundry or picking up dropped items or going to get the phone and things like that.
So my question is, so what are the ramps and the tunnels and the stairs? What do they do? Like, how do they help the dog?
Yeah, so those are going to be really, really helpful for getting the dogs exposed to not only different types of flooring and what their feet are touching, but being used to going up things, coming down things, matching their pace to the person's pace. It's going to be helpful for the dogs not to run down the ramp, but try to walk very slowly and get used to that feeling of gravity. So those are going to be really helpful pieces of equipment to have for the training. And we're going to try to get those exposed to them as early as possible. So as they get older and they see those out in public, they're not going to be afraid of those things.
Okay. What benefits do the dogs give people?
Yeah, so that's a really good question. So we place therapy dogs with kids that have autism or other developmental disabilities. And sometimes kids with autism may not have an easy time making friends, going to school, or talking to people. So with that dog there, it not only helps reduce anxiety and kind of be an icebreaker for conversation with peers, but they have a best friend 24/7. So we have therapy dogs that ride in the car to school with the kids. They might have anxiety or they might not want to go to school, but knowing that that dog is in the car on the way to school, and then when they get home from school, that dog is there to hang out with them again, that's really helpful.
Are there any dogs that end up not becoming therapy dogs?
They do. So not every dog that we try to train is cut out for what we do. So we have our fabulous flunkies. So those are the dogs that don't make it through to be a therapy or a service dog. So those dogs go
We interviewed Nancy Borders and her team of comfort dog handlers to learn what a comfort dog does and how it differs from therapy and service dogs. We also learned some of the experiences the dogs have had and who they've helped.
And what's the most common breed?
For the comfort dogs, the only breed they use is golden retrievers, and there are about 130 comfort dogs across the country.
When and how long are they trained? When did they start being trained? And how long are they trained?
The organization that trains them is Lutheran Church Charities over in Illinois, and they start their training anywhere between 8 and 10 weeks of age. They get about 2,000 hours of training, which puts them at anywhere between 18 months to 24 months before they're actually placed.
For our service project, we raised money to buy training equipment for puppies and other dogs that are going through the Ability Center's training program. We bought ramps, stairs, and tunnels. These things can be used to help train the dogs to not be scared of certain things that they might encounter while walking and helping their owners move around. We also were able to meet with the puppies that will be using this and saw how they play.
To raise money for the training equipment, we were originally going to have a free throw contest, but then we decided to do something else. Instead, we had a bake sale. At the bake sale, we sold puppy chow for $1 each, and we sold other baked goods such as brownies, cookies, and popcorn for 50 cents each. On top of that, we started a GoFundMe, which made $150 in total. Fortunately, we were able to afford the ramp, stairs, and tunnel.
In my 8th grade project, I learned a big lesson on procrastination. Throughout the project, I kept procrastinating starting our action project. This led to 2 very stressful weeks of trying to finish our action project. I know now not to put things off to the last minute.
The 8th grade project really impacted my life and taught me some very valuable life skills. One thing I learned is how important that animal-assisted therapy is and how it could really be the best way of helping people with conditions and diseases. I also learned how to talk to adults and how to set up meetings and interviews, and was able to set up 3 interviews that really taught me a lot about the topic.
This 8th grade project helped me in many ways. First and most importantly, it helped me learn valuable skills about life. The most important skill I learned was working with my team members to create something that I am proud of. The next thing I took away from this project is that I learned how to do things like write a paper and do the action project.
This 8th grade project taught me a lot of new skills. It taught me how to write a good paper, raise money for charity, and work better with the group. One important thing is that animal-assisted therapy is a very helpful thing, and people should appreciate it more.
Do you guys have any questions? Yeah. We asked, and they said that that's comfort dogs is different from therapy dogs, so they're like a privately owned company, but they just said that they're not overly small, so they can get around everywhere, and they're most commonly known to be good dogs, and they can also retrieve things for them because of their retriever. Yes. Yes.
Sorry.